Did you know that Lego, a company built on imagination and endless possibilities, has a significant blind spot? When it comes to representing African history, the official Lego catalog is surprisingly empty. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Lego collector stories, exploring how fans and artists are filling this void, brick by brick. The Lego Group was founded in 1932 by Ekow Christiansen in Billund, Denmark. Though initially a woodworking shop, it eventually transitioned to plastic toys, and in 1958, the company patented the design that would define Lego forever, the interlocking stud and tube brick. Since then, Lego has exploded into a global phenomenon, with countless themes spanning everything from space exploration to medieval castles and movie tie-ins. But beyond the official sets, a vibrant community exists, the adult fans of Lego, or AFOLs. These builders create stunning custom models, known as MOCs, my own creations, often tackling subjects Lego themselves haven't touched. And this is where our story truly begins, because when it comes to African history, the official Lego representation is limited, to say the least. You might find a pyramid, perhaps, but rarely will you see the great kingdoms of Kush, the empires of West Africa, or the stories of powerful African leaders. This absence has led to a surge in custom builds, museum-style creations, digital renderings, and fan exhibits, all dedicated to bringing African history to life in Lego form. While Lego has recently made small steps, highlighting Black creators on their official site and acknowledging the need for greater diversity, these efforts remain a far cry from a dedicated line of historical sets centered on African civilizations. One inspiring example of independent initiative is, Because of You, Legacy in Focus, a 539-piece Lego-style set designed by Because of Them Weekend and Most Incredible Studio. This set, shaped like a vintage camera and frame, serves as a poignant symbol of memory, legacy, and the importance of documenting Black history. Black Lego artists like Ekow and Nimako are pushing the boundaries of the medium, creating intricate sculptural works, often utilizing Black Lego bricks to explore themes of identity and history. Adam Ward is another artist whose creations are celebrated within the Lego community for their unique perspective and artistic merit. Online, Lego communities on platforms like Reddit, Instagram, and YouTube are filled with incredible custom builds inspired by Black history, showcasing the passion and creativity of fans determined to see their stories represented. So, why does this matter? It's not just about missing sets, it's about which histories are normalized as collectible play culture. African history is often absent not because it lacks dramatic stories, but because global toy markets have historically prioritized European, North American, and fantasy themes. The human stories behind these builds are incredibly powerful. Collectors meticulously research underrepresented histories, builders reconstruct lost kingdoms and monuments, and fans use Lego to fill historical absences. The collector community is, in effect, doing public history work. African history can be represented through architecture, even without figures. The Great Pyramid of Giza is well known, but what about Meroe, Great Zimbabwe, Timbuktu, or the rock-hewn churches of Ethiopia? Lego builders use these architectural marvels to reintroduce neglected civilizations to a wider audience. Black Lego artistry has become an art historical movement. Artists like Ekow and Nimako have elevated Lego from a simple toy to a medium for fine art and cultural commentary. Lego becomes a tool for discussing identity, memory, and diaspora, creating collector demand for historically meaningful work. And much of the Black history Lego output, particularly in the US and Europe, is shaped by Black History Month programming, Afrofuturism, diaspora memory, and a deep desire to teach children about untold histories. It's about Black identity, globally. Lego is one of the most globally recognized visual systems in the world. Representation in Lego isn't just about playtime, it shapes how children imagine history, influences collectors' perception of worthy history, and normalizes African and Black histories in everyday play culture. Lego can serve as a portable museum, allowing builders to reconstruct palaces, monuments, and historical scenes, making them instantly accessible and educational. This is particularly crucial where formal education systems have overlooked African history. The collector and custom builder community actively researches obscure historical subjects, creates visual tributes, and documents them online, becoming a parallel archive for underrepresented histories. Toys play a significant role in shaping self-image. More Black history Lego work can increase identification, reduce cultural invisibility, and inspire children to explore history, architecture, art, and engineering. Representation also drives the market. Collectors seek rare, meaningful, and culturally specific builds. Lego can reach new audiences by supporting broader historical narratives, providing visibility and legitimacy to artists from underrepresented groups. Modern African creators are now shaping the narrative, no longer waiting for Western companies to define their history. They are building custom models, designing exhibition pieces, and using digital platforms to share African-centered stories. In modern Africa, Lego-style historical modeling can support museum education, school enrichment, heritage sites, architecture teaching, and digital storytelling. A Lego model of Great Zimbabwe can spark discussions about pre-colonial state formation, while a model of Timbuktu can connect to scholarship and manuscript culture. A model of Aksum can highlight ancient Ethiopian power and trade. Modern African cultural production often blends history, speculative design, and identity reclamation. Lego, as a modular building medium, fits well into this space, representing both historical reconstruction and imaginative future designs rooted in African aesthetics. When audiences see African civilizations represented in a high-visibility medium like Lego, it challenges stereotypes that Africa is only rural, impoverished, or absent from world history. Instead, it showcases engineering, trade, statecraft, art, architecture, and intellectual traditions. The strongest criticism is the systematic underrepresentation of African history in mainstream Lego themes, a form of cultural marginalization in global consumer products. Toy companies often decide history based on marketability, treating some histories as special interest rather than central world history, suppressing awareness of African empires, trade networks, Islamic scholarship, and ancient civilizations. When African history is included, it can be flattened into generic tribal imagery or vague safari aesthetics, which is more misleading than exclusion. There's a debate about who gets to tell these stories. Using African imagery without involving African historians, artists, or communities can lead to cultural appropriation, rather than authentic collaboration. So, as we wrap up, the story of Lego and African history is still being written, brick by brick. It's a story of absence, but also a story of resilience, creativity, and the power of passionate fans to build a more inclusive world, one Lego creation at a time.